Daisy says, eat great, feel great, look great. Marshalls. Brand names for less.
Diageo. As Daisy says, eat great, feel great, look great. And if you drink, drink responsibly. Diageo, celebrating life every day responsibly.
All-Clad Metal Crafters. All-Clad is bonded construction. All-Clad is innovative design. All-Clad is professional equipment. All-Clad is a state of mind.
Brillo with Oxy Action. For tough messes, Oxy microbubbles lift and dissolve grease and grime. Brillo, cleaning solutions for your home for over 90 years.
Prospero año y felicidad. Merry Christmas! Feliz Navidad! It's Christmas at Daisy's house. And Christmas is a big deal at my house every year. I'm the biggest baby when it comes to making the house feel festive and smelling like Christmas. And we have the entire family come over and help decorate our tree, which my family, the boys and the girl, we drive up to the country every year and we chop down our own tree. Everybody say Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Decorating the house and hanging the mistletoe and the garland on the porch. It's a lot of fun. It's a big deal. And everybody looks forward to it all year long. And in order to make my house smell like Christmas, there are a couple of things that I have to make. One is pernil, our festive Christmas Eve roast pork. It's not just for Christmas Eve. We enjoy pernil all year round, but it's mandatory on Christmas Eve. We have to have our pernil on Christmas Eve. Christmas, the holidays, family, food, and friends, let's go. Over here I have my pernil, which is the shoulder of the pork. And I'm going to dress this pernil with my wet adobo. It's something that I like to use for a number of different recipes. I'm going to start with abuela's pilón en maceta, some garlic. Surprise, surprise. About 1.5 heads of garlic. And to that, I'm going to add some salt. And the reason that I do the salt and the garlic together is so that I don't have garlic projectiles going all over my kitchen. The salt kind of settles the garlic in so that it doesn't ricochet. When I was a little girl, the most wonderful thing for me was waking up to the smell of this roast pork. I would wake up and it would smell like Christmas. And whenever I do that for my family now, I'm just transported back. I'm a little girl again, waking up in my bed waiting for the Christmas fun to start. We really want to work the garlic down into a paste. Okay, you know what? That's looking good. Now I'm going to add some whole peppercorns. I like the sharpness of fresh peppercorns. What happens with spices once you keep them in your pantry is that they lose the potency, the intensity of their fragrance, of their flavor. So whenever you have the option to start off fresh, I would opt on the side of that. I'm so excited. I love Christmas. I'm like a little kid when it comes to Christmas. And actually, my children say that to me. Ma, you're the biggest kid here. Yeah, I am. I know. Okay, so here's what we have. We have a nice thick paste of the garlic with the peppercorns and the salt, and I'm going to add some oregano now, dry oregano. At this point, I'm going to use a spoon to mix the rest of this together. I'm going to add some olive oil to this, just enough to wet it through. And then I'm going to add some white wine vinegar, and this is what you're left with now. And if there's a few whole peppercorns in there, not to worry, not a big deal. That works just fine for me. Okay. Let's get to this pernil. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make little slits in the meat now. When you go to the butcher to buy a pernil, tell him you want the shoulder, not the butt. It makes a big difference. And I know everybody is saying, what is she doing? What is she, crazy? That's going to dry out the meat or the... No, it's not. Why? Well, because I'm adding vinegar, and that's going to act as a brine, a type of brine within the meat, and it's going to flavor the meat and make it juicy. And we're just going to fit little spoonfuls of the wet adobo right in to the slits that you make and just tuck it right in. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to do the same on this side. You're close to the bone here. If you're a little apprehensive about getting the smell of garlic and the adobo on your hands, wear latex gloves. This way, there's no problem. Okay, and then I just all over. And you want to make sure you get all of it. Like my mother says, don't wash its face and leave its neck dirty. You gotta, no le lave la cara y deja el cuello sucio. You gotta get everything. This smells so good. Already it smells good. And I'm just gonna give this a little blankie, and I'm gonna set it in the refrigerator. The further in advance that you address your pernil, the better the benefits are gonna be. 1-2 hours at the very, very least. I have my pernil sitting for like 2 or 3 days beforehand in the refrigerator. And whenever I pass by the fridge or open the fridge or something, I'll turn it over just to make sure that all the juices that it's sitting in has a chance to really marinate. So the pernil is in the oven, 450 for about 30 minutes. Then I'm going to lower the heat to about 400 degrees. How long am I going to cook it for? Usually the rule of thumb is half the weight of the pork roast. So if my pork roast weighs 6 3/4 pounds, I'm going to start looking at that puppy at about 3 hours. And then we're going to have delicious pernil. Ring the bell or knock on the door of any home in Puerto Rico on December 24th, you will get a piece of pernil and a plate of arroz con gandules, for sure. Rice and pigeon peas, arroz con gandules is the traditional accompaniment to pernil. And let's make some arroz con gandules. I have here some achote seeds, or you might see them referred to as annatto seeds. Achote seeds are used to color and flavor food. They really lend a lovely nuttiness to whatever food it is that they're flavoring. And I'm going to go ahead and add some olive oil. Achote oil is one of those life-changing things. Once you learn how to make it and you include it in your cooking in your kitchen, you will wonder how in the world you ever did without it. Because I'm heating the achote seeds in olive oil, it's not something you put on the stove and walk away from. You have to watch your achote oil. You're gonna wait for it to start to twinkle. The oil starts to get sparkly. And then you have to lower your heat, because if you don't treat achote oil gently, you will ruin the oil. And if you give them too much heat, they turn black and bitter, and the whole thing is just one nasty mess that you have to just throw in your trash. So I'm talking to you and I'm keeping one eye on the achote oil because I'm waiting for that first little twinkle. Okay, there's twinkling happening in my achote oil pan. You could see little bubbles coming up and almost like a little foam coming up to the top. That tells me that it's time to lower my heat. I'm going to strain right into this pot here where I'm going to make my arroz. One of the cool things about talking to you about my food is that I get to use all the names for it. Now, you try it. Pick a word, either arroz, or rice. No contest, right? Arroz is so much more fun to say. Practice in front of the mirror. Okay, I'm cooking 6 cups of rice today, and that's a lot of rice. So we need to boost up the sofrito. And sofrito is that delicious, wonderful puree, another one of those things that you'll wonder how you ever lived without it, of onion, garlic, a little tomato, sweet bell peppers, ajicitos if you can find them, cilantro, culantro if you can find it. And it really makes the rice just so delicious that you don't need beans, you don't need meat. The rice in itself is just absolutely wonderful. Okay? I'm going to add some cumin. I'm going to add some alcaparrado, which is that olive salad that I tell you about. You can get it in your supermarkets. It's really available just about everywhere. Pitted olives, pimentos, and some capers. You can call me a lot of things. Shy is not one of them, and neither is my food. My food is very, very bold. I like it to taste like something. I like it to, you know, to really, when I take that first taste, like, wow, that is delicious. Okay, and bring the heat up on that. I'm gonna add some pepper. Over here, I have some smoked pork neck bones. That's like my secret weapon when it comes to arroz con gandules. It lends just a beautiful smokiness to the rice that is out of this world. And then you have the treat of that little ham bone in there that you can kind of nibble on. And I want to roll this around in the sofrito with the achote oil and everything else so that not only does it lend flavor to the sofrito, but it picks up some beautiful color as well. So now I'm going to add the rice. Why am I not adding the gandules first? I want to stir this rice around to fix the heat, and I don't want to mistreat my gandules because these are canned and they're rather soft, so I want to treat them gently. If I was using fresh gandules, then I could go ahead, they're a little sturdier. You know, I want my gandules to look beautiful when I open my pot, so here we go. Look at that. It never ceases to amaze me how beautiful the achote makes the rice look. And taste. Close your eyes. Here comes the part that you're all afraid of. It needs that much salt. Trust me when I tell you it needs that much salt. It's a lot of rice. There's 6 cups of rice in here. Beautiful, absolutely lovely. And I'm looking to see if the rice is telling me, there she goes. You see how those little kernels up on top look chalky? That's the rice telling me, okay, we're ready for the next step. That being my gandules. Let's drain these. Gandules are pigeon peas. They're known as pigeon peas, kind of like a relative to the black-eyed pea. You can find gandules frozen sometimes, but the ones in the can, they'll definitely make do. I'm going to go ahead and add them. Give this a little turn here. And now I'm adding some hot chicken broth. Okay. Now, you want your arroz con gandules to be fluffy and loose and lovely and gorgeous, right? Right. So how do you do that? How do you make perfect arroz con gandules? It's the old 2 fingers of fluid over the level of the rice trick. Use your spoon, 2 fingers, exactly. Okay? So I'm going to wait for that to come to the boil for a sec. And it should happen rather quickly because I had the stock heating. There it goes. And then to make it really, really taste like Christmas, I have a banana leaf here, which you can buy frozen if you don't have a banana tree in your backyard. I don't have a banana tree in my yard. And I'm just going to lay this right on top while it's boiling. And as the broth boils, it'll leach flavor, not color, it'll leach flavor out of the banana leaf. It's just going to be really authentic. Wow, I just got a whiff of that banana leaf. Really authentic tasting Puerto Rican arroz con gandules, rice with pigeon peas. It's going to be, this is going to go so cool with my pernil. So I'm going to show you what it was that I was talking about. I'll move this over here. Don't let it go too far. I'm lowering the heat. I'm going to stir the rice once. Oof. Does that look gorgeous or what? I'm set my banana leaf back on top. I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to go help hang some Christmas boilies on the Christmas tree. 20 minutes, I'll be back. Don't look at it, don't touch it, don't. I'm walking away. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Pernil time. My favorite time. Wow. Look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. When you first open that oven door, oh, my goodness. It doesn't get better than this. This is as good as it gets. The skin is, listen to this, listen to this. The skin is completely crispy and the juices are running nice and clear, so I know that it's done. It's been about 3:15, so I know that the bones actually start to poke out of the meat. When the meat shrinks, it looks like the bones are poking out. If you noticed before, this wasn't happening. But it looks absolutely perfect. And while I have the pork resting here, I have a little treat for you. No Christmas celebration would be complete in my house without Coquito. Coquito is what I like to call Puerto Rican eggnog. It's our spin on it. It's made with evaporated milk, 1 can, right into the blender. a can of sweetened condensed milk. Make sure you have your spatula handy to get all that great stuff. 1 can, cream of coconut. And of course, there are as many recipes for coquito as there are for meatballs, let's say. This is the Martinez family spin on it. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then I'm going to use 4 egg yolks, or for anybody with concerns about using raw eggs, I have a ½ cup of egg substitute, which works well. I'm going to give this a whir, and then I'm going to add the rum. About 1.5 cups, or to taste. A little less, a little more is fine. You know, use your judgment. Okay. We'll taste that. Give it another whir. When I was a little girl, of course I wasn't allowed to drink coquito, but my Uncle Hector, I just adored him. He lived with us for a little while when he first came from the island, and he would sneak me a little taste of coquito just so that I'd know what it tasted like. I love doing this for you. What I got to get you to do is to try it, because this is absolutely delicious. It's so delicious. It's delicious already. I'm going to just gild the lily a little bit and add some nuez moscada, or as you may call it, nutmeg. And I love fresh nutmeg. What's going on right now, when I'm grating the nutmeg, the perfume of nutmeg is just so incredibly delicious. You can add cinnamon if you'd like. Can't wait to taste. That is so good. I had a girlfriend once ask me, what kind of glass is the proper glass to serve coquito in? Honey, we'll drink it out of a trough. We love coquito. So I got a party glass here. The earth moved. Delicious. This is so good. But that's as much as I'm going to have, or I'm going to end up burning my rice and cutting my finger off when I carve this pernil. So we'll be back in a second. It's time for me to get my face in that rice. Let's see what we got here. Whew, that first hit coming out of the pot. Sweet dreams. Absolutely beautiful. I couldn't wish for prettier rice. Look at this. Oh my goodness, this smells amazing. Se me hace la boca agua. My mouth turns to water. Oh, I'll be back to deal with you in a second. Okay, if that wasn't good enough, I've got this baby to deal with now. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. And I'm just gonna use a scissor to cut this away here, and then just lift it right off. The cracklings on top are just, they're like lacquered. I've got chills. And I'm gonna set this aside. In my house, everybody fights for this. So my husband, the diplomat, cuts it in little strips and he sets it out on the table once the pernil is carved. Oh wait, look. Just for me. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, what you're gonna do with this is you're gonna follow the bone, and you're gonna cut yourself a nice big wedge off the pernil, and then we're gonna set it on our table. I'm struggling not to lick my fingers, and it's an effort, believe you me. Do you see how juicy that meat is? Not dry at all. All those little slits that we made before, look how pretty. The pieces of garlic and the peppercorn. The inside of the roast is as flavorful as the outside of the roast. And with every slice of this pork, you get that aroma right in your face. Let's turn this over, and again, use the bone as your guide. In my house, a pernil of this size with arroz con gandules and salad and 6 to 8 people. I'm telling you, we like our pernil. My pernil is ready. I have it all cut up in nice serving little pieces, and I just happen to have this fabulous platter all ready for me. And you see, because I loved my gandules, they're nice and whole. There's no smashed gandules in there or Look at that. See how that falls apart? Did I tell you you were going to have fabulous rice or what? And I want some of these little huesitos, little bones in there because they're like the special treat. It's starting to look like a party, don't you think? I know it smells like a party over here. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's get some of this pernil on the plate. Just go ahead and set our pernil right around the side there. When we were little girls, my mother would tell us how in Puerto Rico, when she was growing up, there was no Santa Claus. There was no Santa Claus, there was no Christmas trees. What there was El Día de los Reyes, the Feast of the Three Kings in January. Instead of Christmas trees, what they would do is they would put little boxes of hay or grass under their beds for the camels who bared the three kings to eat. And they would leave beer for the kings and cigars and such. In the morning, the grass would be gone and the beer would be gone, and kind of like the cookies and milk thing with Santa Claus. And me and my sister would sit there like this for hours just listening to these stories. And thinking about how she had never seen snow until she came to this country when she was 14. But that's Christmas, and this is Christmas. And let's not forget our cuerito, right? And what I'm going to do is use my scissors to cut up little pieces. And we're just going to put some crackling pieces like this. Maybe a couple of more pieces. I want the nice crispy end. Christmas on a plate. No turkey, no cranberry sauce, no Christmas goose or Christmas ham. When I first got married, my husband comes from an Italian family. That was very much his Christmas experience. Today, he couldn't imagine having Christmas and not having pernil and arroz con gandules and pork crackling. It's no small feat, I'll tell you that. Okay? How pretty is that? I'm going to taste some rice. You know what? I want a little piece of that ham. Thank you so much for sharing my Christmas with me, my holiday, for watching me make arroz con gandules, rice with pigeon peas, pernil asado, Puerto Rican roast pork, and our eggnog, Coquito. The icing on the cake. Buen provecho y feliz Navidad.
Daisy Cooks, Latin flavors that will rock your world, contains over 200 of her detailed recipes. With each order, you also get a Daisy Cooks DVD at no additional cost. It includes the never broadcast Daisy Pilot and 3 favorite shows. To order, call 800-336-1917. The price is $29.95. You can also order the Daisy Cooks book with free DVD at her website, daisycooks.com.
Hola, it's Daisy. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at daisycooks.com. Tell me what you think. Sign up for my newsletter and get recipes and tips in English and Spanish. It's all at daisycooks.com.
Daisy Cooks is brought to you by
As Daisy says, eat great, feel great, look great. Marshall's. Brand names for less.
Diageo. As Daisy says, eat great, feel great, look great. And if you drink, drink responsibly. Diageo, celebrating life every day responsibly.
All-Clad Metal Crafters. All-Clad is bonded construction. All-Clad is innovative design. All-Clad is professional equipment. All-Clad is a state of mind.
Brillo with Oxy Action. For tough messes, Oxy microbubbles lift and dissolve grease and grime. Brillo, cleaning solutions for your home for over 90 years.